It's 25 degrees on this muggy afternoon. Welcome to June in the Kanaka watershed. Ross Davies here with your Tributary Tuesday as we take a look today at Kanaka tributary Horseshoe Creek. And we're standing fairly close to the origin of it, which is up that way about a third of a kilometer. That would be Dewdney Trunk Road down there in the distance. We're at 240th Street. Of course, if you go that way long enough, you cross the watershed boundary into the Alouette watershed. But Horseshoe starts from groundwater, as so many do, and it's got a fairly reliable flow all year. Let's take a look down the gully. It's already got a pretty good gully right here this close to its source, so it's never been known to dry up. Today we're going to follow it right down to the mouth. We've traveled a little ways downstream. We're on Gillum Drive right now. What I want to point out is that Horseshoe Creek is highly impacted by these guys right here. Just about all of its flow, good portion of it anyway, comes in through these storm drains. So anything coming off these roads like paint or gasoline or road salt in the wintertime, antifreeze, anything like that is going to end up here. So down in here there is an actual feeder stream down there, I'm sure, and Horseshoe Creek would be a little further back. And the city has done a really good job of leaving these huge wide riparian strips. The creek is down there somewhere in the middle if I cared to bushwhack down there. And I'm going to put a little shout out here for, like, stream corridors are paid attention to, and that's great, but land corridors are every bit as important. These are really, really valuable migration routes for bears, deer, bobcat, cougars too, anything like that. Okay, so hang on to your hat, because from here it's downhill all the way. We found this cool little access and footbridge down off of 116th Avenue. Let's take a look down at the creek itself. We can actually see the water this time, and there it is. Pretty decent flow, and as far as fish species, cutthroat trout for sure, at least up to this point, probably coho salmon as well. And since Horseshoe is fed by groundwater, we find that we see emerging coho salmon fry sometimes 2 months ahead of their hatchery counterparts, which of course runs off surface water up at Bell Irving. So we see it fry as early as the first week of March here. Quite a bit of a blackberry issue along this creek corridor. It's quite common in most of the tributaries that go into Lower Kanaka. But there still is a fair good bit of canopy shade. You've got alder there. There's a spruce down there. You can see him right there in the middle, and some cedar as well. We'll take a look down here and say hello to some red elderberry. I don't think they're edible for us, but the birds like them. And some wildlife trees, want to leave them standing unless they endanger the trail. That one does not. And it looks like at some point there's been a bit of an erosion issue. That's a technique called cocoa matting that was probably put there to stop that bank from sliding. Doesn't look to be an issue right now. We're a little farther down Creekside Drive, and the reed is living up to his name because of course there's no houses between it. And look how wide that riparian area is. It just goes way over there. I'm really liking that. Got a western hemlock here. We've talked about this before. A lot of these are getting stressed from climate change and dying. A lot of them have died. This one's hanging in there. It might have a bit of a distressed cone crop on it, but it's found itself a bit of a wetter location down there in the gully. Ooh, look at this. All you cavity nesters out there, we've got some nice places for you. Come on down and check it out. Okay, we made it all the way down to Kanaka Way. We're getting pretty close to the mouth. There's obviously a lot more traffic along here. Nice wide riparian corridor, lots of alder. And if you spend any time at all in these neighborhoods, there's every likelihood that you will run into a black bear. Ross back with you, and we are near the mouth of Horseshoe Creek as we are on the decommissioned part of what used to be Kanaka Creek Road. And looking way down there where those railings are, that's another Kanaka Creek tributary feeder stream called Rainbow, and we'll explore that one on a different day. But first things first, we look at Horseshoe, and water's pretty high right now, and when that's Kanaka Creek just back over there. And what's been going on is the Fraser is in freshet right now, and it actually makes this become affected by ocean tides, believe it or not. So this is fairly high. It's going to remain like that till probably July sometime, and then it's going to be back down to normal. So one thing I should ask, if you venture down this way this time of the year, bug spray. The mosquitoes down here, they take no prisoners. They are relentless. So bring your bug spray, your netting, or maybe both. So Ross Davies from Horseshoe Creek.